Because of her disfigured appearance, Tina prefers nature over human society. She works at customs, and thanks to her keen sense of smell and ability to read people's emotions, she can easily detect illegal cargo and catch smugglers. People often make unkind remarks about Tina's appearance, but she is used to it and does not take it to heart. As is often the case, first impressions can be deceiving. Despite her unattractive appearance, Tina has a very kind nature. She lives in a modest house in the forest with her boyfriend, Roland, who dreams of getting rich through dog fighting. He has no stable income and spends his days doing nothing. Tina loves walking in the forest, feeling completely at one with nature. It is as if she was not made for the human world, or perhaps it was not made for her. During dinner, Roland talks only about dog fights. He and Tina have nothing in common, they do not even sleep in the same bed. During another workday, Tina smelled that a man who appeared respectable had something to hide. Tina's colleague searched his bag but found nothing. Then Tina demanded that the man hand over his phone. The man said he was already late, but the customs officers insisted. When Tina found a flash drive, the man snatched it and tried to swallow it, but the customs officer quickly grabbed the smuggler. Tina truly has a unique gift that no other human possesses. Or is she not the only one on Earth? That same day, she encountered a man whose emotions were inaccessible to her sense of smell. She demanded to see the contents of his bag. Inside, Tina found an incubator for insects. An instant connection formed between Tina and this strange man. There was something about him that felt familiar. They even looked alike. Before leaving, he hinted that they would meet again. After work, Tina stopped by the supermarket to buy groceries and a pack of cigarettes, even though she does not smoke. Later, she visited her father at the nursing home. He was very happy to see her. He suffers from dementia and does not remember that she called him yesterday. Tina tries to spend time with her father as often as possible. Technically, smoking is bad for him, but she still gives him a cigarette now and then. Tina's father never liked her boyfriend. Perhaps Roland is just using Tina since he has nowhere else to live. But Tina simply wants someone else to live in her house. She does not think Roland is a bad person. Their evenings are spent on the couch in front of the TV. They barely have any topics to discuss, but they are kind to each other. It is not passion, and certainly not love. At some point, Tina felt something pulling her outside. A moose was standing near the house. The animal showed no fear and allowed Tina to pet it. The next day, Detective Agneta spoke with Tina, curious about how she managed to identify the smuggler who was distributing illegal content. Tina stated that she did not know what was on the flash drive, she simply sensed it. The detective did not understand how that was possible. Tina explained that she could smell shame, fear, anger and other emotions. The police suspect that the man is connected to those who create those vile films. They have placed him under surveillance, but they need a valid reason to search the apartment. And if Tina can sense people's emotional states, she could help. Roland cares about nothing but his dogs. One day Tina overheard him flirting with another woman on the phone, but she did not care. No one in the human world understands her. Or is there someone who does? Vor is not like other people either, and soon fate brought him and Tina together again at customs. She was sure that Vor was hiding something, so her colleague insisted on a thorough search. While they were away, Tina sniffed Vor's belongings. When her colleague returned, he looked confused, claiming that Vor was a woman and had a scar on his tailbone. Tina had never encountered anything like this before. Driven by curiosity, she approached Vor and asked who he was and where he came from. Vor, whether he was a man or a woman, replied that he wandered the world. And this was surely not their last meeting. Tina also has a scar on her tailbone. When she visited her father again, she asked him where it came from. Her father said that she fell on a rock as a child, though Tina remembers no such thing. On her way home through the pouring rain, Tina was stopped by her panicked neighbor Stefan, who said that his wife Esther had gone into labor. Of course, Tina agreed to drive them to the hospital. Tina is so attuned to nature that she can sense animals appearing on the road before they even emerge from the bushes. Everyone who knows Tina is already used to this. Gradually, Tina begins to realize that she is not just human. She is something else. That night, Roland drunk came into Tina's bedroom and suggested they try at least once. Despite living together, they had never been intimate. When Roland became more persistent, Tina roughly pushed him away. He doesn't understand what's wrong with her. Tina doesn't understand either. She just knows she is different from others. Soon Tina found Vor, who was collecting insect larvae in a jar at the park. He offered Tina to try eating them. Tina refused, so Vor did it himself. Tina said it was disgusting, at least that's what everyone says. Vor offered again, saying that if she didn't try, how would she know for sure if it was disgusting or not? Tina gave in, and to her surprise she didn't find it revolting. Vor lives in a cheap hostel because he can't afford anything better. Feeling an unusual pull toward him, Tina offered Vor to stay in her guest house. Dogs always bark at Vor, just as they do at Tina. When Vor growled at one of Roland's dogs, the animal whimpered pitifully. Of course Roland wasn't exactly thrilled about the unexpected company and even seemed a little scared. Tina showed Vor the guest house. Their mutual attraction was growing rapidly, they even had identical lightning-shaped scars on their bodies. Fearing she might cross a line, Tina hurriedly left. Roland voiced his complaints about how she hadn't consulted him before bringing an old acquaintance, as she introduced Vor, into their home. Tina agreed to cooperate with the police in capturing the criminal group distributing illegal content. Tina sensed the emotion of shame from the man they were surveilling, and despite the detective's assistant urging her to wait, she found the right apartment. The tenants, a married couple, were outraged by the intrusion, and the assistant quickly pulled Tina away. Later, Detective Agneta explained to Tina that they needed to proceed carefully because the case was delicate. First they needed to gather enough evidence. While walking in the forest, Vor found Tina there. They both feel a deep connection with nature. Tina shared that as a child, she thought she was special, but later realized she was just a human with defective chromosomes. Tina can't even have children. Vor advised her not to believe everything people say. He considers her the most beautiful being in the world. Hearing this, Tina felt deeply embarrassed. Later, she introduced Vor to Esther and Stefan, who had recently welcomed their daughter Elsa. Vor sincerely congratulated them on such a joyful event. That night, Vor writhed in convulsions and went into the forest, still suffering in pain. His screams echoed through the night. This is how Vor brought a new life into the world. The police surveillance of the suspicious couple continued. Taking advantage of their absence, the detective's assistant and Tina entered the potential criminal's apartment. The crib in the room seemed like a disturbing find. But where was the child? Using her sharp sense of smell, Tina found a hidden camera. The footage recorded on it contained illegal content. After watching it, the assistant was horrified. The couple was summoned for questioning at the police station. Patrick, the man's name, claimed that he and his wife had taken guardianship of a little girl a year ago, which is why there was a crib in their apartment. Naturally, Patrick denied any involvement in creating that vile footage, insisting he had no idea how the camera ended up in their home. Detective Agneta offered to drive Tina home since she lived far from the city. Roland is growing more concerned about Vor's strange behavior, his constant coming and going. Besides, his presence makes the dogs uneasy. Vor truly has a secret. Tina couldn't sleep. Vor appeared at her window, and she understood everything without words. Roland is preparing to leave for a dog show, convinced that this time luck will be on his side. Tina doesn't seem the least bit upset that he'll be gone for a few days. Nor that he's cheating on her. The rain and thunderstorm began. Each flash of lightning made Tina flinch in fear. Seeing Vor at the doorstep, Tina immediately let him in, knowing that he feared thunderstorms just as much as she did. They were alike in many ways. When the rain stopped, they went into the forest, feeling that the attraction between them was about to reach its peak. Tina became angry when Vor called her beautiful because she had always considered herself ugly, just like other people did. But her anger turned into passion. Tina was not quite a woman, and Vor was not quite a man. When it was over, Vor revealed to Tina that they were a different species, known to humanity as trolls from Scandinavian myths. Due to their unusual mutations, they had tails, the ability to sense human emotions, and an attraction to lightning. Tina realized that the scar on her tailbone was from a tail that had apparently been removed. Vor claimed that they were not alone. In Finland there was a small group of nomadic trolls. Tina would not be able to find them on her own, but if she went with Vor, she would reunite with her kind. Roland returned and to his disappointment, found that Vor was still there. For the first time Tina stopped feeling like a freak, she was simply different. Seeing that Tina looked tired, her colleague suggested she take a vacation. She preferred to spend her nights in the forest with Vor under the moonlight. Tina had adapted to human life, she had a job and a home, but there was still much to learn. Vor revealed that retribution was coming. He didn't know what had happened to Tina's parents, but his own parents had been subjected to medical experiments in the 70s while he was passed from one orphanage to another. Vor had endured a lot and hated humans, believing they deserved to be destroyed. But Tina did not share his view, understanding that not all people were bad. Vor insisted that she was wrong. Her father had lied to her all her life. Seeking answers, Tina went to the nursing home to talk to her father straight. For years, she had lived a lie, enduring bullying from her peers. Now she wanted to know who her real parents were. Breaking down in tears, the man said that her biological parents were long gone. A nurse insisted that Tina leave, as she was disturbing the patients. Having achieved nothing, Tina left. In the forest she burst into tears and, unable to bear it all, collapsed to the ground. Her body convulsed. When she returned home, Tina growled at Roland and demanded that he get out of her house. To make it clear that she wasn't joking, Tina threw out his television. Roland didn't understand why Tina had suddenly changed so much. She had always been kind to him. In any case, by morning, he had packed his things and left. Driven by instincts, Tina went to the guest house, feeling that Vor was hiding something in the fridge. He dodged her questions, saying that everyone needed a little personal space. Now that Tina had thrown Roland out, she could be herself. She no longer wanted to pretend and live her old life. Vor warned her that it wouldn't be easy. But only this way could Tina truly find herself. And yet she couldn't stop wondering what Vor was hiding in the fridge. One day she couldn't resist and took a look inside. A small creature lay in a box. Tina stared in shock, unsure of how to react. She had never seen anything like it before. Barely containing her emotions, Tina put the creature back where she had found it. She spent a long time trying to process what had happened. During the interrogation, Patrick's wife tearfully insisted that they hadn't harmed anyone, they had only taken photographs. But Tina, present during the interrogation, knew for sure that the woman was lying. The woman confessed that Patrick was working with some man. Meanwhile, as Patrick was being transported to prison, a moose appeared on the road, forcing the police car to stop. Taking advantage of the moment, someone pulled Patrick out of the car and instantly took his life. The officers didn't have time to see the attacker, who disappeared immediately. But Tina had a suspicion about who it could be, though she didn't tell Detective Agneta. Determined to confirm her guess, Tina followed Vor's trail into the forest. He explained that he had to do it before Patrick could talk. Yes, Vor was involved in all those vile things. He helped humans in their self-destruction as a form of revenge. Furious, Tina demanded to know what exactly Vor was keeping in the fridge. Vor said it was an unfertilized troll egg. He regularly produced them. Their bodies were soft, like clay. Suddenly he asked if Tina had ever heard of changelings. She was shocked and asked why he was doing this. Vor replied that he wanted humans to go through the same suffering that he, Tina and others had endured. Tina called him a sick psycho, and they began growling at each other for a long time. Tina cannot accept what Vor is offering her and leaves into the forest alone. Then the sound of police sirens catches her attention. Entering the neighbor's house, Tina asks what happened. Esther, looking distant from shock, says she had only stepped out for a moment to collect the mail. In the cradle instead of Elsa, lay something human-like. It was clearly a changeling. Tina has no doubt that this is Vor's doing. Checking the fridge and finding it empty, she confirms her suspicions. Vor left a note for Tina, saying he would be waiting for her at the ferry. Tina doesn't know which feeling is stronger within her, rage or disappointment. But pulling herself together, she goes to the designated meeting place. Vor believes that he and Tina are meant to continue their lineage, so more like them can exist. Tina declares that she sees no point in bringing harm to all humans. If not wanting to hurt anyone means being human, then she is human. Vor is arrested. Tina has already told the police that he was Patrick's accomplice. Unexpectedly, Vor breaks free and jumps into the water, still bound in handcuffs. Soon after, Tina decides to take her father out of the nursing home. He tells her that he and his wife, unable to have children, only wanted to fill the emptiness in their hearts. At the time, he worked at a psychiatric hospital where Tina's parents and many others of their kind were held. They did not remain there for long. Tina's real name is Riva, and her parents are buried in an old cemetery. Tina finds her parents' graves. Now she knows the truth. She can no longer consider herself fully human or fully troll, living on the boundary between both. One day she receives a package containing a troll infant, a living creature, not an egg. The moment she smells it, she knows, it is her and Vor's child. And so she realizes that Vor is still alive. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel not to miss more exciting new products. Also, the authors will be pleased if you leave your opinion in the comments.